Good afternoon. My name is Rashawn Williams, and today we'll be going over my persuasive speech. The topic that I decided to go over today is the benefits of incorporating BJJ, also known as Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, into your day-to-day activities. A couple objectives that I'd like to go over, as well as goals and understanding, is first the understanding that the history and benefits of incorporating BJJ, also to understand what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, that being a self-defense martial arts and combat sport based on grappling and submission holds. And also, I would like one takeaway from this to be that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu isn't solely about competing. So to start, I'd like to talk about martial arts are something that have been around for centuries in various forms. As early as 50 BCE, we had Taekyon. We later had Pankration, which came around 2000 BCE, and it's also arguably what people say MMA evolved from and adapted other forms like wrestling soon after. However, there is one sport in particular that I feel has had some pivotal moments in both early and modern combat sports. The sport, of course, is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Today, I'd like to go over some of the history and benefits of incorporating Brazilian Jiu Jitsu into the day to day. Okay, so to start, we're just going to go over some benefits that we have listed per our source, the MMA Guru. And the first one is BJJ builds confidence, and just something to go over as far as that, as well as consistency. Um, they state that the only way to master Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is through consistency. This is a relatable through almost anything else in life. Although you can naturally be good at something, no one masters anything without consistency. BJJ teaches you that consistency on and off the mats is a vital part of your improvement. BJJ also teaches us patience. In Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, patience is not just a virtue, but also a necessity in so many ways. It takes patience to see improvement. So it really shows you that you have to keep doing it and keep working hard so that you can feel great about the things you learn and move forward. Another thing is BJJ brings friends and happiness along the way. Um, they also note inside the article that you will make some friends through Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, just as I have, and all of who have a unique story to tell and why they started this journey. And I personally started to train because I heard it was a great way to stay in shape. And actually, BJJ has been a part of my life since I was a child. I remember being very young, rolling on the mats and practicing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu with some of my friends. At that time, I started to train, of course, because I wanted to get in shape. But my cousin will always tell me it helps keep you disciplined. I actually just decided to return back to the sport, and I'm getting ready to start training again all these years later. So the next is why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the ultimate functional fitness. Um, in this portion, I'll be coming from an article provided by Andrew Reed. And just a little backstory on Andrew Reed. He's a lifelong athlete and coach, as well as a black belt, I believe, at this time. He's trained hundreds of athletes and clients up to Olympic levels and as well as championship levels. Inside the article, he discussed various benefits of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Um, he noted when you fight often, you'll get hurt, especially in things like boxing and other sports. A lot of damage can occur, so it's good to do a sport that's less detrimental to the body. BJJ can also benefit people training for general health, like I said, to stay in shape or get in shape. It also helps with self-esteem and self-discipline, and it also helps you gain more and more over however many years you study. He also notes something that he put together, which is the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and how it fits into the training hierarchies. Now, I won't go too far into that because that's something in itself, but just to lightly go over, he states how there's many ways to create a training hierarchy, and he provides a list with different regiments from fastest slowest all the way up to the most complex. Fastest slowest is things like sprints and jumps, and the most complex is maybe like an Olympic deadlift or any type of lift such as that. And he also brings us some things like, for instance, as it happens, the brain is an important part of the training process, and the more we engage it, the better our results. Doing these different things as far as his training hierarchy can help work different parts of your brain. So next, I'd like to go over someone who has had pivotal success from the sport, and that is none other than Royce Gracie himself. Um, and I'll be pulling a lot from London Real's interview that they had. It was Brian Rose, and he interviewed Royce Gracie, where he discussed some of the things he's learned from training jujitsu and how it changed his life. I also wanted to go ahead and just show a couple clips because it's a slightly longer video, 45 minutes. I won't be able to play the whole video, but just maybe 1 to 2 minutes from the London Reels interview with Royce Gracie. I feel like there's a lot of good moments that comes from that interview. So I'll go ahead and pull those up now.
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Royce Gracie, the Brazilian MMA fighter, UFC Hall of Famer, and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu pioneer. Today, you travel the world teaching jiu-jitsu and keeping the Gracie name at the forefront of the fastest growing sport on the planet. I think you might have saved my life. And let me just tell you why. I moved to London in 2002, and my life was a mess, Royce. I had just come off the worst year of my life in New York City, drug overdose. My girlfriend left me. My best friend had fired me from my job, and I came to London. And I'll be honest, Royce, I was barely alive, and I had never trained martial arts. I hadn't been respecting my body at all. And he said, "You got to try this." And I started training in 2002, and I didn't miss a session for 8 years. And I'm telling you, it gave me my whole life back. And if it wasn't for you and what you've done and your family, I might not even be alive. Now I'm a purple belt with Royce Gracie here in London. And so I just want to thank you for everything you've done. It made a huge difference in my life.
That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. It's not just the martial art part, but when we say it goes beyond the mats.
Okay, so now to just go over my end statement. I like to say that it's fairly obvious to say that I share a love for martial arts, and I feel there is many forms that hold their own rights amongst the sport. Sports like BJJ wasn't just meant to be about competing. It's just as much about learning, experiencing, and going to become more disciplined. It's a more practical way of training where technique is valued over brute strength. You can train at many times, at any age, and any size, and be welcomed in like family. Although the sport can be peaceful and tranquil, sports legends like Royce Gracie and many others have utilized the sport to branch out and use it to make newer sports such as the UFC to show their success. BJJ is a way of life, and it's only what you want it to be, whether it's to stay in shape or going out to compete. The hardest part is taking the first steps onto the mat. Thank you, and that is my persuasive speech today. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for your time.